Hello, hello, everyone. It is Wednesday, my favorite day. And Hannah, I'm excited today because on this episode of our series, we are not going to take you to one of our special places. We're going to talk about branded residences and how amazing all these branded residences are. And I know people are out there going, what are they talking about? What is a branded residence? Well, we're going to dive deep into that. I'm Stephanie Gillison. Welcome to Aerodomo. Hannah Maverick is my partner in crime today. Let's dive in, Hannah.
I am so excited about this. First of all, I'm very happy that we've now moved on to topics after covering countries because this is going to be very interesting week after week. So that's very exciting. And then our topic today, branded residences, let's talk about what that is, right?
Yeah.
So for most people, it's a name, a brand that stands for a lifestyle, a feeling, a level of trust. When you say Ritz-Carlton or Four Seasons or Armani, now imagine taking that feeling and turning it into your home. And that's exactly what these are. It is such an extravagant feeling, I think, but you have been working with branded residences for a very long time. Why don't you tell us what they actually are?
Absolutely. And I have been working with branded residences all over the globe. And here's what I find amazing. Over the past couple of years, they've gone from like 200 projects globally to now over 700 projects globally. So that gives you a perspective on how popular this is happening. It's been tripling over the last decade. So that's something that is, you've got to think about. And the reason why, it's because people want effortless ownership. What is effortless ownership? Well, when we go to a hotel, we have an effortless stay. Well, when you have a branded residence, you have ownership. You own that home, you own that condo, whatever it might be. But you're not buying a house, you're also buying a lifestyle with it. And I tell people all the time, I don't sell homes, I sell lifestyles. And that is the absolute truth with branded residences. It's a lifestyle and it runs itself, okay? You're going to go there and experience exactly what you would at a resort. You're going to have daily cleaning services. You're going to have your favorite, Hannah, room service if you need it. You might have your personal chef. You're going to have the amenities of what the features might be at the neighboring resort, tennis, pools, whatever that case might be, private drivers. But most importantly, everything's going to be taken care of for you and everything's going to be completely managed. So even when you're away, you have no cares in the world as it relates to that property. And so some of us in this world, and many of us, are so busy that that's one of the hardest things about owning real estate abroad is we're concerned. Who's going to take care of it? What if a storm comes? Who's going to manage it? Well, with a branded residence, it's all encompassed and it stays that way forever. Everything from the maintenance of the facility all the way down to the actual rental. So Hannah, it speaks the language. It's a design, it is concierge, it's housekeeping, it's all of those things rolled into one. And you might even get lucky and have a spa. Make
You
sense?
are speaking my language right now. Absolutely. I want everything managed. I don't have to think about anything. But it's interesting to me how these actually started in the 80s when hotel giants realized that their guests wanted more than just a stay. They wanted to live the brand experience year round. And they were like,
Yeah,
hey, let's do this. Let's make it year round, which is amazing. And especially post pandemic, buyers are looking for security and experience and convenience.
that's right.
And a branded residence gives you all of those things. You're buying into a name that you already trust, that
Yep.
has built-in management, that has five-star amenities, global recognition, and the developers love them too because obviously a brand can add 20 to 30% more value to a property, and often it means faster sales. What has your experience been when that comes to mind?
That's absolutely the case. And the other thing about a branded residence is that developer is extremely vetted, because these brands are not going to put their brand on just anybody. They want to make sure that that developer is financially sound, that they actually have experience doing this, that they're not a newbie to let's go be a developer in the islands somewhere, which that happens, you all. So this is something that, it's going to demand a much higher resale. But here's the other thing that I love about it. If you're an investor wanting to have a return on that investment, you don't have to worry about it getting rented, because the hotel is filling it with those people that want those penthouses or those villas. If you've ever gone to a resort and you've stayed, in a villa on site or on property, the likelihood is that's someone's private residence that is actually owned by someone else. And that's what they do with these. And so there's that opportunity to where you're guaranteed some of that ROI back. The other thing too is that the architecture, people they just know that they have to be built to a different standard, right? And so when you come in and you're building an entire resort, a branded resident always has that certain standard, the look, the way it's got to be built. And so these buildings then are basically built like a commercial building, right? And so they withstand a lot of the tests of time. And so you mentioned the global appeal. And that's the big thing too, because they're branded, they're recognized by people all over the world and not just one culture.
Exactly. And I've obviously seen a lot of them in Dubai. Currently, I think there is around 48,000 branded residents in inventory as of the first half of 2025. And the average price for a branded residence is around $1,000 per square foot.
Yep.
And that's a really nice number, because the actual branded residences market has grown roughly 150% over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And I think it's because buyers are very committed to that feeling of security that these give. But you've worked with these in the US. What has your experience been from a buyer that is thinking about a branded residence versus just a regular luxury residence?
Well, you have two types of purses, right? Or you've got a ton of different purses when you go shopping, right, Hannah? And
Yeah.
you've got all the different brands, right? And so you have all these different opportunities, and people tend to lean to what they're attracted to. And especially now that we have these brands, like in Miami, you've got the Aston Martin building, right? Aston Martin is a car. You've got the Porsche building. You even mentioned earlier today when we were chatting about the Mercedes-Benz building that's extremely popular in Dubai. People are attracted to that because they know that those are the standards that are set into, what is set for that entire building. But what I love about the resale factor of these branded residences is right now the data is showing us that it's 30 to 40% higher resale than just a standard residence. Okay. And so that's huge. That's really huge. The other benefit that you have with these branded residences is if they have sister resorts, the Ritz-Carlton has multiple Ritz-Carltons throughout, then you can exchange your stay at the one that you own and then go to some of these other resorts. And so you have that built-in power to not just have to go maybe to the Bahamas constantly. You can trade that and go to Cayman or wherever the case might be. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Do you think that the buyers are seeing these properties as investment first or more lifestyle statements? What have you seen in the market?
Both. It's both. Because here's the thing, it's absolutely lifestyle, but also for investors, renters want to be part of that lifestyle too. They want to say, hey, I'm going to go stay at the Porsche building, right? They want that brand power. They want premium value. They want to be able to say those things. They also want the built-in liquidity, the resale demand, that That's huge, because obviously none of us want to invest and buy property that's going to depreciate. And so here, you know, you're pretty good. Also, it's a hands-free revenue stream. We talked about this a second ago. If the brand's offering a rental program, then owners can earn passive income with the hotel level management and marketing. So think about that. You never have to worry about putting it on Airbnb or VRBO or any of those sites. It is handled by the hotel management, and it is handled, you know, the rental, everything is taken care of for you. So that is a hands-free revenue stream. And, you know, for some of us that are scared to own properties because of maintenance and just the, you know, what it takes to be involved in that, this is that opportunity, and it's worth the extra cost, you know, of what it costs to buy. But also portfolio diversification. Branded Residences are offering a tangible appreciating asset with global recognition because of they're part of that hedge. People are grouping themselves together to only invest in these types of residences throughout the globe. Okay. So the, you know, the benefits are off the charts as it relates to branded residences. And, you know, one of the things that I want to point out too is definitely look at airdomo.com, because we do have some branded residences and we have more coming. Branded residences, there's several that we'll have that are already getting underway. They're under construction, or they're about to be under construction. We've got one this morning that's going to be 2027, but right now they're pre-selling those opportunities. And so it's something that you want to get in on early, because the earlier you get in, the less expensive it gets. As they start to build them, the more expensive they'll become.
Exactly. We have a question actually. What should we pay attention to when picking a good branded residence? I'm thinking about renting. Great question.
Well, you definitely want to make sure that they have that rental program. You don't want to, if they have the rental program in place, then that's exactly what you're going to want to invest in when it comes to a branded residence. Very few times will you see that they're not able to be rented at all. Okay. But you definitely want them to have the hands-free rental program in place so that you don't have to do that management, and their hotel is handling that for you.
Perfect. This has been a really, really great topic, and I really enjoyed it. Thank you, Stephanie, so much
Thank
for
you.
every week sharing your wisdom with us. And I'm very, very excited for next week when we're going to talk about investment in real estate and how to deal with the emotion of it and the financial part of it, how to level those out and make the right decisions. And Stephanie is the perfect person to talk to about that.
Can't wait. I'll see you all next week. Go visit us on
All right.
airdomo.com and follow us on all social media channels. Thank you all. Bye.
Bye.